powering the rails and metro with electrification and sustainable energy innovations. And we have an expert panel here, representing important organizations. So I will straight away start with requesting my speaker on my left, Anurag Kapilji, Director of Finance, Container Corporation of India, CONCOR, to give you the views on the subject.
To begin with, CONCOR is having a motto, think logistics and think CONCOR. So I'm here in dual capacity today. I'm also handling the finance expenditure charge in Railway Board, and CONCOR is my additional charge as Director of Finance. So I would give both perspectives. The 25% of greenhouse gas emissions in the world is from the transport sector, and approximately 22% of the carbon emissions. It's one of the fastest growing sector, but in this speed, approximately 33% of the world's total energy, of which 96% is the fossil fuel, is consumed by this sector. And by this, we can just imagine that how much is the carbon footprint by the transport sector. Coming to the Indian perspective, approximately 65% of the freight operations is by the road, which contributes approximately 90% of the emissions generated in this sector. In comparison to this, railways, which is approximately 35% of the freight sector, emits only 7% of the emissions, just because it is approximately, in today's date, 85% of the tracks are electrified. And by 2030, we means Indian Railways is targeting to become zero carbon emission. And electrification will take place in another a year or so. It will be almost 100% electrified. Only few sectors will be left in which electrification cannot take place. They are like hilly regions or because of the difficult terrain. But for that, there is a research going on. There is a pilot project going on where hydrogen is being tested as a fuel. And this is in the part of Northern Railway, and it's very, very advanced stage. Once this is there, so even in the hilly areas where electrification cannot be done or is not viable, hydrogen will be a substitute. Coming to the targets of 2030, we are targeting that today our Indian Railway consumes approximately 90% of thermal energy and 10% is renewable. The target is to reach, it is target, might take a few more years, but the target is to reach 80% by renewable and 20% dependency on thermal. Now, the most important aspect is that why electrification is so important for railways. One, that it is electric locomotive is the most efficient machine. It is approximately 85% efficiency in comparison to 35% of the diesel locomotive. And with electric locomotive, the best part is it has regenerative braking, which again regenerates approximately 15 to 18% by the locos. Just because when a loco is attached to a train or a rake, only loco is having a regenerative braking. Rest of the coaches or wagons, they are in the dynamic friction braking. So they are not contributing to regenerative braking. But the situation changes drastically when it is EMUs, when it is Vande Bharat, and now Amrit Bharat trains. Because they have train sets, and each train set, when goes for the regenerative braking, there is somewhere around 35%, up to 35% regeneration, just because it is stop and go, especially very, very important in case of EMUs. Now, coming to this role, what is the role of container corporation? So container corporation is, I would say, not directly related to electrification of Indian Railways, because the locomotives are of Indian Railways and CONCOR pays the haulage charges. But a lot of dependence of both the ministry and the corporation, they are like, I would say, married couple, because the target of Indian Railways is like move 3,000 metric tons, for which Container Corporation of India comes as a good substitute. Reason being, the bulk goods can be moved by the wagons and coaches, but not the high valued small goods, for which you need containers. And you know, in this direction, the Container Corporation of India has almost converted all its terminals with electrified lines so that the electric locos can enter. There are very few, I would say approximately 20 diesel locomotives right now with the Container Corporation of India, and only 12 are in use. And that too cannot be electric locomotives, because when you stack the containers, the OHE is a hindrance. So you need to have diesel locomotives. But if this hydrogen is successful, that can be a substitute. Coming to other part of it, that Container Corporation has come up with has participated a lot in MMLPs, which is multi-modal logistic parks. The biggest advantage with these parks is that all kind of transportation is available, so that like it has, wherever there are airports, it is near to the airport. So road transportation is there, rail transportation is there, by air transportation there. CONCOR is also gone into air CONCOR. And wherever the sea links are there, then the seaports are there. So moving from one part to the other of the city is minimized in case of MMLPs. Further in this direction, to have, you know, the biggest challenge with the railways is that last mile connectivity is not there, for which CONCOR has come up with CONCOR Last Mile Logistic Limited, in which we are going for first mile, last mile connectivity, so that the customer is not having any problem and the challenges which are normally faced by the railways are mitigated. One more thing in this aspect is that CONCOR has gone for LNG trucks. We have purchased 130 trucks which are running on LNG, having a large range. Even a loaded trailer can go up to 1,000 kilometers and an empty can run up to 1,500 kilometers. LNG is almost 40%, providing 40% less emissions in case of pollutants, 30% less in case of noise, and most important of it, as it is very, very highly pressurized liquefied natural gas, there is no theft of fuel. That is one more important aspect of it. So this is something which in brief is about CONCOR. In subsequent questions, I would further elaborate what all we have done in case of renewable energy and the energy saving part of it.
Sure. So I think you have highlighted very well the importance of how the renewable energy ecosystem is evolving and how it is going to impact both the rail, the metro sector, and also the logistics sector. And the various steps being taken by the government in towards this direction have been highlighted. Let me request our speaker, Mr. Deepak Kumar, who is a DGM Electrical for National High Speed Railway Corporation Limited, to speak and give a view on the subject.
Good evening. Good evening to the respected eminent panelists, distinguished guests. First of all, let me take this opportunity to thank the organizer and the Kochi Metro for giving me this opportunity to speak on this forum. I am representing NHSRCL, who is implementing the first high-speed rail project in India. So as as we are sitting here in the panel for discussing the sustainability approach, so there are very researched papers, and even as per UIC, the high-speed rail projects have the least emission and are the most energy efficient mode of transport if we have to compare it with air transport, road transport, or conventional transport. So in a way, this first high-speed railway project between Mumbai to Ahmedabad in India is a step towards sustainable future sustainable rail. Moving forward, for this project, MHSR, we are looking for an sustainable from a point of view from well to wheel concept, where the thrust is to source the decarbonized electricity mix from a sustainable source. So we in this area, we are planning our power procurement in which we can source our power requirement by maximizing the renewable energy content. So in today market scenario in India particularly, now we have the precedents available with us that we have developers who can provide 100% renewable power round the clock. So that is one area MAHSR is trying to capitalize on that. The second initiative is definitely the energy efficiency and the energy conservation aspects, which as per the provisions laid in the ECBC guidelines, NBC, we are implementing these features through various contracts, provisions, and we are implementing right now in our project phase. Next is definitely the multimodal transport mode, which becomes again economical aspects also if we have to see the sustainable part of the high-speed rail project. So in all the major stations, we have this concept where we are integrating with the metros, bus transportations, railways, which will again support the sustainable growth. To further go across the 508 kilometers, we have a solar installation potential of more than 1 lakh square meter, which we are harnessing, and we will use this clean energy to become net neutral and support the sustainable goal of UN and our Prime Minister. Further to that, if we see, we have many facilities across the 508 kilometers where we are planning the rainwater harvesting facilities, wastewater management plants. So this will again support the sustainable growth. And in all, we are also intending to assess the carbon assessment of the project during this executing phase also, so that when we move to the next life cycle of this project, we have mitigation measures available with us to mitigate that and offset the carbon, the available carbon emissions with this project. If we see and if we compare the global benchmarks across the world for the high-speed projects, so there are precedents where the high-speed projects have considerably reduced the carbon emission per passenger per kilometer. So there is an opportunity, and there is an opportunity for MHSR project also. Once we move down and once we move gradually further in the project, once we have the baseline established for us, we can have the proper mitigation measures. So sir, this was regarding the MHSR projects.
Deepak ji, thanks for highlighting the various sustainability initiatives being taken by your organization. And let me request our speaker from the Kochi Metro, Dr. MP Ramnavas, to kindly highlight your sustainability initiatives.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for this opportunity. See, fossil fuel. We are taking 80% of the energy total energy production, and 75% of the greenhouse gas emission is coming from the fossil fuel based energy, and carbon dioxide emission also 90% it's coming from that. So there is a need for going in for alternative sources of renewable energy. Kochi Metro was also instrumental in adopting tapping of solar energy for our consumption, for which we have started rooftop solar panel installations and on all the stations as well as the depot buildings. Whichever building we are having, everything is covered with the solar panels, and we are also having nearly 4 hectares of land only exclusively for solar panel installation. The challenges which we have faced during this is 2017 we started partial operation of the Kochi metro rail system for about 15 kilometers. So by that time rooftop installation was not over. So the rooftop solar panel installation was to be done during the period when the traffic was on. So we were having left with a very few hours in the midnight in the non-revenue hours. That was one challenge which we have faced. Another one was the regulatory things getting past the hurdles, the regulatory things for integrating it with the grid and also for the net metering systems. As far as we know, it is Kochi Metro was the first to have a net metering and integrating with the grid. So these challenges we were having. So now we are streamlined, and further all the stations we were having the rooftop solar panels, and we were having about 55% of energy neutrality, and with the addition of 3 more stations recently in the last 2 years, that neutrality is about 49%, because we could extend the solar tapping of solar energy only for the station rooftops, not we are serving with the same depot and other installations. So we are also looking for some more land to be obtained. So by the end of 2030, we will be getting 100% neutrality, similar to the Cochin airport. That's our target. And as far as the benefit which we have derived from this, we were able to, due to the net metering, we were able to save money on the energy consumption, whereas we are getting the RESCO model, we are getting the solar power at 4.55 rupees per minute per unit, whereas the cost to the electricity board will be 7 rupees per unit. And also we were able to reduce the carbon emissions, being socially committed. And this made a model for other metro also to follow the same thing. Other metros like Nagpur Metro also followed the same thing 2019 onwards. That's it. Thank you.
And I think you highlighted the various initiatives by the Kochi Metro regarding sustainability and how it has impacted the pricing and the costings, which is useful information. And I will request Afzal Ali, who is the Managing Director of Forest Industries Travancore Limited, Kerala, to give your views on the subject.
Good evening. Dear ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I just want to know whether the audience is still alive or not. Because since morning, you were bombarding with plenty of technical informations, and I'm not sure whether they are sleeping or alive. That's why I again said good evening. First and foremost, thank you so much for inviting Forest Industries Travancore Limited to be part of this event, and great appreciations to KMRL to bring out a platform for addressing the technical information to the engineers as well as to the public. And probably Forest Industries Travancore Limited, I'm not sure whether it's a misfit in this platform, because environmentalists say Forest Industries Travancore Limited is cutting all the trees and causing deforestation. Due to deforestation, the rivers are affecting, and there are plenty of allegations still going on. Nobody is knowing why a state government is introduced a platform like Forest Industries Travancore Limited. There is a story which everybody should know it. Otherwise, it will be like in Kerala, there is a proverb. What is the role of a cat in a goldsmith workshop? It will be like that. So you have to understand, the government introduced Forest Industries Travancore Limited just to not cut trees and manufacture furnitures. Its main objective is that Just think of a situation. Now we are approaching 2025. Just think of 2025, 26, 27. If nobody is dying in this world, whether it's human, whether it's animals, whether it's trees falling out of age, what will happen to this world? Just think of a situation. I'm quite sure everyone in this auditorium, after 7 months, they will start praying to the Almighty. If you believe in that, please bring back the death scenario. It will be a disaster. That's what forest industry is Travancore is standing for, the sustainability. Because we are bringing only teak wood from the forest, which is falling after a certain age. Because after a certain age, we have to die. Similarly, the trees also. So what we are exactly doing, we are bringing health to the forest, which we are taking few trees and we are again doing the tree plantation. And we are manufacturing furniture, but we have to pay a little premium. That's why public is still not so familiar with because of the price sector. So as part of forest industries, we have a wooden manufacturing as well as we have an engineering team also. Our engineering team, probably very few people know because it's a state accredited agency. Very few people know that we have a team of engineers who worked in almost 32 countries across the world. So what we can offer, as far as wooden products, we can offer all kind of a sustainable wooden products to KMRL. Even the mementos which are sitting right side of my stage, we can manufacture wooden mementos, which is purely wood, no piece of plastic, no piece of ink, which is wooden engraved furniture. Mementos we can manufacture, whether it's KMRL or any other organization. If they need, they can approach Forest Industries Travancore Limited. And our engineering team, they can offer. We are sitting just beside the metro pillar 100. So every day we are seeing the metro. So we are thinking of this entire kilometers of facilities. Why can't we make sustainable solutions like rain harvesting? Why can't we make use of the entire facilities for renewable energy solutions like solar panel installation or whatever it may be? Why can't we think of some innovative solutions to bring back this sustainability to the world? That's what we are stand for. That's what I have to submit before the humble panelist. Thank you.
Excellent views, and thanks for waking up everyone. And you have provided the other side of the story from a supplies side of the sustainability practices. And the metro ecosystem or the railway ecosystem is the consumer of these ideas which they have to implement. So before I will ask anything else, I think I will open the audience. Like anyone has any question for the panelists, you can raise your hand and we're going to take it. Anyone out there? It seems no one. People are already like tired. So I will just ask the panelists our next question, and which is the last one, since people are already tired. That what there is a huge global sustainability movement happening globally and also in India. Our Honorable Prime Minister has also taken a lot of efforts personally to see to it that India adopts to the global sustainability goals and net zero goals. So in that direction, what is the railway and the metro sector taking those initiatives? If you can highlight if there are any targets, there are any goals already planned, and what is the progress in that direction?
I'll just elaborate something regarding CONCOR, and then probably I'll come to Indian Railways also. Like I just mentioned that CONCOR as such, as they are not owning the locomotives, and the electricity consumption is totally limited to their offices and other establishments. It has signed up an MOU with NTPC Vidyut Vyapar Nigam, in which sites have been identified for coming up with solar panels so that all offices and all establishments will be net zero emission. In this direction, 25 kilowatt solar panels have already been installed at Jaipur ICD and 100 kilowatt at Dadri. Some more sites are being identified and the work is in progress. There is an arm of Indian Railways and RITES. It's a joint venture which is called REMCL. In collaboration with REMCL, further consultations and suggestions are being done in which more and more solar panels will be installed in the assets of CONCOR. CONCOR has earmarked approximately 100 crores in research and development on this area. There are few machines like, the container stacking machines and all. A pilot project has already been done that instead of that machine being fueled or that crane being fueled by diesel will be electric. Electric trucks, CONCOR is in very, very advanced stage. Order of 2 trucks has already been placed. The only drawback with these trucks is that they're right now not tested in trial and their range is less. It is like somewhere around 200 kilometers odd. And if the traffic is there, it can travel only up to 150 or 160 kilometers. But then we have planned that these trucks will be there for this, and like for example, NCR region, in which in every winters there is grab 3, grab 4, and what all restrictions are being imposed, and the movement of containers becomes a problem in the NCR region. So in those low range and low distance facilities, it will be done. Rest, many of the things have been already taken up, which is almost in all the organizations that go for LED, go for star appliances. We have converted all our warehouses with the daylighting effect, with putting up transparent sheets and all, so that lamps and bulbs are not required during the day. The warehouses, we are in the warehouse business, and a few of the warehouses which are right now being constructed are as per the Indian Green Building Council norms, which is for net zero. They are for net zero buildings, and one of the warehouse is being planned in Chennai, which will be totally net zero emission. For that, the PMC has already been established, and TERI is being. We are consulting TERI also. Large number of CSR activities also, solar panels and all are being installed in the villages, so that we can have maximum reach, because as I mentioned, we don't own the locomotives, so we can't do anything on that part of it. AI-based container terminal management systems are in place in most of the container depots, so that the movement of machines is minimized and time is saved. There is support of TERI is being taken in some of the CSR activities where water is to be conserved. So many things are being done right now. And I believe that most of the organizations, in whatever capacity they are having, whatever land part they are having, they are doing it. So today it might seem that it's a difficult task, but it is not so. We have the potential. The only thing is that we should have that drive within us that we have to do it. There was a resistance regarding electric vehicles also. Now, all big companies have come up with the good kind of electrical vehicles having good kind of range. And very soon it will be, we will be finding it that maybe around 40 to 50% of the vehicles are replaced by electric vehicles. Charging is a constraint right now, which is also being sorted out. Electric buses are running in Delhi and then many other metros also. So 5 years before, it might seem that this is something which is not possible, but it is taking a shape. It will take a shape.
as you mentioned that if like someone had told 5 years back that we'll be achieving so much in sustainability, like no one would have believed us. So I will ask our next speaker about the next 5 years vision of their organization in sustainability itself. Like, are there any roadmaps being made or any plans being made for the next 5 years roadmap towards net zero and sustainability in your organization? Deepak, if you can talk about.
Sir, as we are in the construction phase, in the construction phase itself, we understand the impact of climate change and the sustainability goal raised by every forum and every stakeholder. So MHSR in the construction phase, all the buildings which we are constructing are being complied with the IGBC platinum rating specifications. All the major multimodal hubs we are providing with the EV electrical vehicle facilities. Our power supply backend, we are supporting that we could support the EV. All the major utility buildings and the multimodal hubs, we will have the solar panels, and we are providing with the net metering facilities. Further to that, sir, what I told you, that in the implementation stage itself, we are planning and intending to implement the ISO 14001 and 50001 standards, so that we can assess the carbon assessment baseline, wherein we can have a realistic measure where we can mitigate the carbon offset, and we could have a sustainable approach from well to wheel for this high-speed rail project.
In this, I would just like to add one thing. As soon as the carbon monetization is enforced in India, you'll see there is a drastic change. Right now, there is no incentive to the organizations until only the thing is that there is a tag, I have gone green. Once the carbon monetization is there in place in India, you'll see there is a sharp increase in renewable energy.
Excellent input, and requesting Dr. Ramnavas to talk about future vision of sustainability.
In the construction, as far as stations, as it is already told, stations and all other buildings are concerned, we are aiming for the platinum rate of the IGBC norms. So the entire station and other buildings are being planned and built, making use of the natural lighting and ventilation, so that the dependence on the air conditioning and artificial lighting is reduced to the extent possible. And apart from that, in the construction, supplementary cementitious materials like blast furnace slag and fly ash are used in place of cement to reduce the consumption of cement. Then we are using the precast technology for the viaduct portion, that is the elevated viaduct portion, so that the consumption of energy, material, even the volume of the concrete being used, everything will be coming down, since everything is precast at a better quality and a higher grade at a far off place, and less disturbance to the traffic on the road and road where the construction is going on. And as far as the electrical appliances are used, all appliances and equipment being used will be of 5-star rated ones, and LEDs with sensors for adjusting according to the occupancy and the natural lighting already available. The LED, that kind of LEDs are being used, and the solar energy tapping will be done as much as possible. And digitalization is used even in the operation. Now we are having 80% of digitalization and 80% of paperless working in the operation and maintenance, and that will be in the coming year. We are aiming to achieve 100%. So similar way, all steps are being taken. And as far as the electric fans are concerned, we are using brushless direct current BLDC technology, which reduces the power consumption. This is how each and every step where we are able to do, we are reducing the power consumption and tapping as much of renewable energy like a solar is being done. Thank you.
Excellent inputs. Thanks for these inputs on the sustainability. Afzalji, over to you.
Thank you. I think that the whole theme about this panel discussion is about two words. One is about renewable energy solutions or alternatives, and the second one is about sustainability. Probably the word sustainability, simply if we can address that, this generation has to live in the needs of their needs to preserve the world for the next generations. That is the simple definition of sustainability. Then we have to understand one point: what is by need? What do you understand by the need? Need analysis of an individual is totally disturbed or misinterpreted in the entire world. We are all living in the wants of our life. If you want to understand this phenomenon correctly, you have to understand, if you want to buy a car, if you do a need analysis, you have to move from one point to other point. You need any car, right? But what is our want? Our first want is Rolls-Royce. Then we will come to Range Rover. Then we will come to maybe the last options, maybe we will come to Innova. Probably we will not go even this Nissan Magnite or whatever it may be. We will not even go. That's what we do for our life. We will not go for need analysis. We go for our want. Now, one simple example, you have to understand what the entire world is doing. If I ask a simple question, I can divide the entire audience into three categories. What's the use of the gold? Why the Almighty or the Creator is created the gold? I'll get three answers. From a Western part of business people, they say it's for the investment. An average Indian wife, she will say that it is for ornaments. But for an engineer like us, we will say it is a precious metal we can use for standardization, and it is an metal where there is zero resistance we can use for transmission of sound or electricity with zero resistance. So come back to the energy solutions. Now look at the Seattle airport. It's 100% solar powered, but is it sustainable? It is not. As engineers, international engineers, maybe we cannot say that it is not sustainable. Why? Because the land utilization is not accurate. Because they used plenty of square meters of land to build the solar panels, but the entire land is unused. So sustainability, renewable aspect, electricity aspect, it is successful, but sustainable aspect, it is a failure. Now, last meeting when I was listening to Honorable MD of KMRL in the, I think it was in Crown Plaza or Holiday Inn, I'm not quite sure. I was listening to the speech that KMRL is looking for 90 plus acres of land for paving these solar panels. So why can't we look into better sustainable options? We have kilometers of metro rail connection from Alvai to the Tripunithar, I think. So why can't we use the entire handrails? We can fix solar panels. All the metro railway station roof we can utilize for the solar panels. And even wherever the rails are there, we can make a temporary shelter and make space for the solar panels. So which is more sustainable, and this 90 acres of land we can use for something other aspect. That is what we have to think on sustainable point of view. That is an humble suggestions to KMRL also from my organization, and this is what I have to submit before the humble panel. Thank you.
Thank you. We had some interesting points of view, and Afzalji, thank for adding a different dimension to it, actually. And excellent inputs from all the panelists. And we will end here. And I thank all our panelists and all our delegates for joining in. Thank you so much.